Hello YouTube! Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Aria. I have been on my own little spiritual journey for the last several months, and I really wanted to share with everyone the things I've learned. So I know this video will find whoever it's meant to find. If you've seen this video, you're meant to see it. I believe it. The first thing I really wanted to get into was about following your heart and differentiating between your heart versus your mind or the ego or logic. This is something that's really important to me because over the last few months, most decisions I've made, I've really tried to follow my heart, and now especially I do follow my heart now that I've seen the beauty that comes from it. But it really is hard at first, and it's hard to understand the difference between your intuition as opposed to your ego. So I really just wanted to share with you all what I've learned and a personal story of mine to help hopefully motivate you to follow your heart. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about my current situation where I have just kept following my heart, and I have a lot of stories I can tell, but I feel like what's going on now is a good place to start just because it's recent, it's on my mind and everything. So I'm just going to talk about it. So I was living in Mississippi, and I was feeling very stagnant there, and don't get me wrong, I had a good life there and everything, but I was getting to a point where I just couldn't grow anymore there. It was the same thing every day, and even though I was very doing a lot of spiritual practices, it definitely posed a big challenge for me because I'd be meditating on my feeling good, and then I'd go into work and I would try to keep that mindset, but just the energy there wasn't matching my energy, so it was really hard. And as much as I just knew I needed to change things up, and I always wanted to live at the beach, always, my whole life. And but it felt very impossible, at least for the time being, because I was making a Mississippi wage. I was like, there's no way I could possibly move to the beach, to Florida in particular. That's where I wanted to go. I was like, there's no way I can do that from a Mississippi wage. So I was like, I want to do this, but I'm just going to put it on the back burner and not really expect it. But I knew I needed to get out of Mississippi one way or another. So my brain was thinking of all the other options, the safe options. So one option was to go to Kentucky, where my family was at, and live with my parents, or live not with my parents, but my dad was going to teach me appraising, which it was the way he advertised it to me, the way he advertised it to me was really great. I could make $100K a year, this and that, if I just dedicate a year of practiced apprenticeship, whatever. And on paper, that sounds great, but it just didn't resonate with me. But my brain was like, do it. This is a good idea, it makes sense. But my heart just didn't feel right. And I definitely still considered it just because it made sense, but it just didn't feel right. And so I kept going back to the beach. I'm like, I want to go to the beach. I know I can make it happen somehow. And so I was I got my associate's degree in business, but I despised college. That's a whole other story. So I was like, maybe I could just go to school for something. Everyone tells me you need to go to school, back to school. And I was thinking about going to a school for something spiritual, or holistic wellness or whatnot. So I was looking at schools here, but because I was like, that would make sense. I could go attend a school, and then I would be moving for a reason and I could maybe get out alone, this and that. But even though it would be going to do something holistic or spiritual, like it still didn't set right. And I was like, yeah, just everything that was following my brain just wasn't feeling right. And I was like, what do I do? And I eventually I was at a music festival. I love going to music festivals. And I was talking to a friend about how I really want to move to Florida. And he told me about a couple he used to live with in Florida, and like they ran out of room, this and that, and sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So they ran out of room, and they're a really nice couple, and so I was like, well, yeah, that sounds great. And then it felt good in my heart when he said that, but my brain was still like, well, no, maybe that's not a good idea because like I don't know, my brain was thinking of all these things, but my heart was like, yes. And it was a big tug and pull because I still had a really hard time listening to my heart and what my heart wanted. So eventually I was like, you know what, this feels right. It feels scary. That was the biggest thing of why I didn't necessarily want to do it, is because it did scare me. But the more I worked on my spirituality and learned how to follow my heart, I was like, okay, this scariness is good. So anyways, fast forward, I am here now, and I've been here like 5 days, and I think I'm gonna get emotional, I'm sorry. I have met the most amazing people. Like, first of all, the couple I live with, absolutely incredible. The house is just amazing energy. Like, I just feel so safe here. I feel so comfortable. I feel like I can thrive here. Like, I love it here. And okay, so here's another example of following my heart. So whenever I got here, I went to this, I was looking up coffee open late because I wanted coffee and it was late. And I found this place. It was like 30 minutes away. And of course my brain is like, okay, 30 minutes, like, do I have to go that far for coffee? But then my heart, like, it wasn't even a question. It was like, let's go get coffee. So I'm like, okay, what else do I have to do? So I go into this coffee shop. As soon as I walk in, the energy is just like, oh, I'm like, oh my gosh. And the girl who worked there and then a guy who was a customer, they just instantly start talking to me. We start like, it's like we've known each other for lifetimes. And most of the people who, they were like showing me around the cafe because they have like, it's also like, they have food, they have some alcohol, they have like a second room where they do live events. And I asked them if they ever have DJs there because I love EDM music, I love music festivals, and they're like, oh my god, let me text Tim. So they text this guy, and he's a local DJ, and within an hour he had showed up to the cafe to come meet me, the girl who loves EDM music, and he had his DJ deck in the back of his car, and he took it out and he plugs it up into the cafe speakers, and he was just showing me how to use it, which is awesome because I have my own deck here on the floor and I've been wanting to learn forever, but I haven't taken the time to learn, so I just had a mentor just like brought to me. And oh my god, I'm just so happy. And I just met more and more people at this cafe. Basically, the way I can describe it is this cafe is just this high vibrating building, and everyone who goes in it is just high vibrational beings. And it's just a place, like a comfortable place where people just go and hang out and enjoy each other, and just really awesome people. And no one's really on their phone. Everyone's like making music, painting, doing poetry, talking. It's just really awesome. And I am just so mind-blown because within just a week of being here, not even, so many things I have manifested and been asking the universe for just fell right into my lap. And about a week ago, right before coming here, I was just having all of this stress, just like I was so in my head, like just everything. And on the outskirts, everything was going wrong. Like it felt like it's like with my money, and we were in the process of selling our house in Mississippi, and that was going to fund my move. That fell through like 2 days before moving. So my head's like, oh my God. But then my heart's like, it's okay. And it is okay. It really is. It's amazing, actually. Like, I'm just mind blown. I followed what my heart wanted, not what my brain said. And I have been gifted with so many beautiful things. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I am just so happy, and I am so blessed. I am so grateful. And like I said, if this video finds you, you were meant to see it. I'm telling you, you really were meant to see it, because I have, like, this is my first video ever. I have no, like, traction or anything. So, like, you needed to see this, buddy. You did. But yeah, I'm really excited to keep making videos. Thank you so much for being here. Follow your heart. Your heart loves you. I love you. Goodbye.